All right, it's 7 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. So I'm calling to order the meeting of the BUHS number 6 for October 17th, 2016. And first order of business, as always, is the clerk's report and the approval of the minutes of October 3rd. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Sean, and seconded by Bob. All right. Any additions, deletions, corrections, changes that anybody noticed on those minutes that need to happen? Okay. All right. So all those in favor of approving the minutes of October 3rd as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions?
I abstain, I was absent.
Okay. This is abstaining from absenteeism. All right.
You know, we had a hard time closing the meeting.
I'm sure you did.
Giants.
I'm sure you did.
We were almost still sitting here. Is there any other communications that came before the board, to board members over the time when it was our last meeting? Okay, seeing none. Recognition of groups and individual visitors, we don't have any, so why don't we go ahead into consent agenda? Is there a motion to enter consent agenda?
So moved.
Ruth?
Second.
Seconded by Sean, okay. Let's start with finance, building, and transportation.
Okay. Finance met on October 6th, and we approved some warrants, and those being numbers 1051, 52, 53, 55, 56, 57, and 58, and the total amount of $516,127.30. We also approved 3 payrolls. September 2nd, the amount of $425,487.45. September 16th, the amount of $428,991.21. And September 30th, in the amount of $422,588.24. In addition, we reviewed the withdrawal agreement requested by the Vernon Town School District, and the procedural thing for that is that we review it and approve it as a finance committee, and then it's presented to the board. There were 1 or 2 sentences that were felt needed to be changed, and Frank worked with Paul Giuliani at the state for that, and we have those points clarified, and we are presenting it, I believe, later tonight to show under new business. Yep, separation agreement. And the other item that we spent a little bit of time on was reviewing the Whetstone Village Homeowners Association issue, that being the 3 lots that we own up there. And there was a ballot, and we put our vote in for the disposition of what should happen to the disposition of the land. We have not heard results yet, but I guess you'll give us more detail on that. We spent some time on that. And our next meeting is on October 27th at 53 Green Street.
Not this week?
No, there was some... 27th. There was, I think Frank had an issue. I've got it written down for every Thursday, but we kept moving it around until we found what everybody could do. So it's the 27th.
Okay.
Is that it? Excellent. All right, WSCSU finance.
We met this past Thursday as several members of the public came and expressed opinions and concerns about the superintendent search process, and actually under communications I've heard from a few more people since then as well. So we heard that. We spent a fair amount of time talking about it and hearing what people had to say. Then we went into executive session to hear the feedback from the 4 focus groups, the 4 groups that interviewed the candidate. We're now allowed to say that there wasn't just one candidate. The I think if we go into executive session, I can report back on specifics about that. I'm surprised Ron wasn't here. I was expecting he was going to be here. But we heard there were 4 different groups. There was 3 members from the leadership team. So at least one principal here. There were three principals there. There were 3 people from the teacher group, and that was based on 20-some teachers that interviewed the candidate. We had 3 members from the community partners and parents group that reported to us as well, and then central office, I guess, was the other. And so we had presentations on that. So we had a lot of feedback in terms of both the merits and the process. Unfortunately, we had a quorum, 4 of 6, but with 2 people missing, we didn't feel it was proper to meet to take to vote to recommend whatever the next step would be. So we're actually meeting again tomorrow in, I think it's in Putney, before their board meeting. So we'll be filling in the other 2 members who weren't there. So they will receive, there's written documentation and ratings from all the groups. So we'll go over that, and I hope tomorrow we'll make a recommendation as to how to go forward. And that will go to the WSCSU board, which meets, I believe, October 26th. And I'm trying to remember where. I know it's in Brattleboro somewhere. Is it Oak Grove? I don't know.
That's the Act 46 is at Oak Grove, the prior Wednesday. But
Okay, yeah. So, but this is the full WSCSU board, which are 3 members from each of the 6 boards in the supervisory union. And among other things, I mean, the finance committee will present our recommendations to them. And I think that's where we stand now, and that's our next meeting. Well, our next meeting is tomorrow.
So are you asking for an executive session to talk about this or not?
You know, I thought that we were going to go into executive session to discuss this.
Okay.
So we can certainly do that. And I can.
Yeah, we can do that later. That'd be fine. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Yep.
Planning and policy.
Has not met. I sent out the revised policies this morning with the revisions we discussed at the last meeting. So hopefully everyone received those.
Did everybody get those?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Didn't have time to read it.
Okay.
What we talked about.
Teacher curriculum committee.
We met today. We saw a presentation from the math department regarding Big Ideas Math, which is the new textbook and online program. It's really cool, gives teachers a lot of tools for creating tests. It gives students the ability to access the textbook either physically or on their Chromebook. Really nifty program. We also dealt with an accounting error on some 1% that just had to be updated.
Great. Excellent. BAMS committee.
BAMS tried to meet this morning, but we didn't have a quorum, so it was just Keith and myself. So we did not meet.
Okay. WRCC.
WRCC will meet tomorrow bright and early at 8 o'clock. And we will be reviewing the 5-year review.
Great. WSCSU Act 46 study committee.
I believe that we had, that the last meeting was after this last meeting.
I think so too. They send a hopscotch and get confusing.
The major issue at the last WSCSU Act 46 study committee meeting was the question of the proportional model versus the hybrid at-large model. Initially,
Of who, the representation?
Yeah, representation for that board. Initially, the surrounding towns had not liked the fact that there would be, at that time 5, now 6 members from Brattleboro as opposed to 1 member from each town. And the solution that they opted for was the at-large model, in which there are 3 Brattleboro members, 3 at-large members, and 1 from each town, all of which would be voted on by everyone. Now that the full understanding of that commingled voting, that everyone is going to be voting on every member, now that understanding is out there, people have decided they don't like that one, and there's a push from the towns to go back to a proportional model. I have stated, and I think pretty much all the Brattleboro people that spoke at the meeting agreed with my statement that it's up to the surrounding towns. Brattleboro doesn't really affect us. So I've said that whatever the towns want to do, I'll go along with the majority of the towns. So at our next meeting, I expect we'll be voting on that. There does seem to be a difference of opinion between some of the towns as far as what they want.
Yeah. It was a big discussion. Yeah, Sean?
Yeah, and tonight at the Guilford, I think that Ron must be at the Guilford meeting tonight, so it's definitely on the agenda at Guilford. And I wrote a letter to the Guilford board, so we'll see. I can make the information of that letter available on Wednesday at the Act 46 meeting. So I know that Guilford is discussing it. And I'm in favor of the proportional, so I hope that I can persuade some of my Guilford neighbors that maybe it's the best way to go.
And there is another meeting, there's a meeting, Act 46 meeting on Wednesday this week at Oak Grove, I think. That's what I have written down in Oak Grove at 6 o'clock, so. We'll be continuing. All right. Okay. Is there anything else for consent agenda tonight? Is there a motion to approve consent agenda?
So moved.
Bob?
Second.
Ruth? All right. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? All right, let's go to administrative reports. Why don't we start in the middle with high school?
Oh,
Gotcha. Thank you.
starting in the middle.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So a couple things going on. On Wednesday, October 5th, we had 50 students travel to Dover, Vermont for the 11th annual Independent Television and Film Festival. That was a 4-day event. And high school students were asked to go up for the first day. And 4 students from BUHS and WRCC had films shown there. And, several of our students had their films there. Frisia, Kathy Goldfarb, Camille Gunsberg, Colette Anton, Ben Kaufman, Adam Hinckley, and Owen Comstock, who graduated last year. All of them expressed, when they got back and talked to some of the students, and they were all kind of amazed and kind of starstruck. One of the cinematographers from Game of Thrones, which I guess is a thing, was there, and there were a ton of Hollywood executives there that were just kind of there and talking to the kids, and so they were thrilled to make that connection. And Karen Tronosky, who went, she's our tech integration person, and she came back and she was equally thrilled. And so we're excited to see where that goes, both with our academy. I'm sure the digital film and editing class is going to benefit at the Career Center as well. And our TV production class, they were just, I went in to talk to them, and they were all just, talking about it. It was great to see a lot of really good stuff.
Before you go on to another
Sure.
subject, could I, in the Reformer, there was a great article by Paul Cohen on that film, and I was really taken with some of the comments that the students made. I mean, they were spot on. So it's an excellent article, and it really highlights the success of those students. So it was pretty cool. That was in October 12th.
Along those same lines, we have 28 musicians who were selected for the Connecticut Valley honors ensemble, 17 in concert band, and 11 in jazz choir. So, Steve Rice has continued to do great work, and Patty Myers as well with our music program. Last Friday and Saturday, the BUHS players opened their season, and they did 2 one-act plays by Anton Chekhov. Certainly challenging material to do. I managed to get there for part of one of them, and one was called The Boer, and I don't remember what the other one was called, but it was kind of fun to watch. Our kids worked really hard to put on the best show. Also, I want to acknowledge senior Hannah Curtis. She has done a great job. She's part of student council and part of athletic leadership, and she's done a fantastic job of doing outreach for BUHS to Harwood Union High School. You may know from the news that Harwood lost 5 students, 4 students that attended Harwood and 1 other in the community, and Hannah has organized some outreach from BUHS to Harwood, and our thoughts continue to be with Harwood and that community. One of their principals sent out a very nice message to all the schools in the area that have offered support along the way, and we certainly wish them well. I want to thank Hannah for her work spearheading that. At our Friday game, our Friday football game, Chris Day organized an honoring of veterans, of parents of athletes who were veterans, and he included BUHS and Essex parents in that. And they did a nice ceremony. The Legion came, they posted the colors. They talked about each parent's service to our country and what they did and where they served. It was a sobering moment, but I was kind of proud to see that they did that. And Chris Day did a fantastic job of organizing that. So we're psyched for that. This Thursday, we will be inducting new members into the National Honor Society. That will be at 6 o'clock in the multipurpose room. And we're inducting many students, among them Jocelyn Ather, Colette Anton, Tanner Bell, Matt Domain, Freesia Cappy Goldfarb, Anya Gunsberg, Ben Kaufman, Jess Lawrence, Kelsey McAuliffe, Kelsey Rabideau, South Rhodes, Sam Stevens, Gabrielle Watson, and Galen Van Watke. So we're very proud of those students, and getting into the Honor Society is a lot of work, and it really takes a commitment to do that. You have to demonstrate commitment to scholarship, leadership, service, and character. In order to be admitted, there's a pretty rigorous process that students go through. So we welcome those students Thursday, and anybody's welcome to attend. I think that's it. So thank you.
All right. Why don't we move down to BAMS?
All right. Hi, everyone. I just came from a parent meeting. I think I mentioned this before. Julianne Egan has been working really hard to, with my blessing, to put together a parent team to just get parents more involved. And our first meeting in September, we generated some ideas. And tonight she put together, I had to leave in the middle of a video that was really, really great, but I can YouTube it. She put together a presentation on social media with students, middle-aged students, and it was really pretty powerful. And I think the first meeting we had 5 parents there, and there was 10 there tonight. And some, actually I think Colette Anton was one of the students who was providing childcare in it. I can't think of who the other, it might have, let's see, Matt Martin's daughter. Elizabeth? Emily Martin as well. So they did childcare as well. And so it was really great. The parents were really engaged in that conversation. It was really powerful. But 12, 13, 14-year-old kids and social media is a pretty hot topic. So just wanted to commend her for her work in preparing that. Talking about kind of tragedy, Mr. Pereira's, you had mentioned the Harwood thing, Mr. Pereira's class, they do Peaks Polaris students in our Polaris program wanted to do something for the people in Haiti who kind of went through the hurricane. So they just set up a little table outside the lunchroom, and in just a couple days they raised over $80 to send to an aid organization. So it's money, but it's, for us it's more the value, I think, in teaching kids empathy and giving and all of that. So, so I just wanted to commend those students. Bigger picture items. We did our first progress report, set of progress reports with the HOW rubric, the habits of work. The final product, I don't love the way it looked for parents, but so we'll be taking another look at how it prints and how it presents to parents. But we've begun the process and planted the seed on that work with separating out grades, habits of work from academic standards. And along the same lines, we're really working hard to get students and staff ready for student-led conferences, which are November 9th and 10th. And teams met today and tomorrow, working with Rachel Mark, who's our Tarrant Institute representative, and just kind of putting together final plans for that. And people are getting geared up and excited for that. But it's a big change for everyone. And I'll be sending out a mailing to parents just explaining some of the major changes. We're fearing that some parents won't even realize that they have to bring their child to a student-led conference. It's just a shift from teacher-led conferences. So we're excited about that. I just wanted to brag for a moment about our BEAMS program. Kate Burt, who's a health teacher at the high school and working a tremendous amount of time to not only teach but to run the BEAMS program. Kate is just doing a fabulous job, and we've been short a site coordinator, which is almost like an assistant to the program. We haven't had one yet. I think we're close to hiring somebody. And Kate's been doing it all herself and just doing an amazing job, and I think we're up. We were last year in the fall, we were at 60-something students, and this year we're almost 90. So we have a lot of students involved, and it's a really fabulous, good turnout so far. And really great programming and teachers. Last but not least, November 3rd, we have, I think I mentioned this last time, our Dover night, which would be going to Dover School and kind of showing 4th, 5th, and 6th grade families kind of what BAMS and essentially BUHS has to offer. So that's it, unless there's any questions.
Thank you. All right, let's go to the Career Center.
Good evening, everyone. Upcoming events for the Career Center. December 3rd, we'll be hosting our first annual open house holiday event. And this will be on a Saturday from 9 until 2 in the afternoon, in the morning as well. And we're going to be showcasing all of our programs in the Trade and Industrial Center building up on the hill behind the church. And it's going to be highlighting our programs, but also we're going to have a craft show and also a rummage sale or garage sale, whatever you'd like to call it, of items. And we're also, I want to thank a lot of the area businesses for donating many raffle items. I think we have over 40 items right now from area businesses, so thank you to all the businesses. And they're really nice items. There'll be a very inexpensive cost for the tickets as well, and a lot of freebies as well. We're also seeking area businesses to set up a table that are looking to hire for future employment as well, that are related to some of the programs that we offer here at the Career Center. So it's kind of a large array of ideas that are going to be going on that day, and we look forward to it on a Saturday, and the Career Center staff as well is looking forward to it. The Career Center will also be holding its first of the year advisory board meeting, and that includes all of our area businesses that are part of our advisory system. And we're going to try to change it up a little bit this year and have a breakfast. So the feedback we've been getting from years past is the afternoons are just too tough on area business owners And so we're gonna try an 8 o'clock breakfast, and it'll consist of about 2 hours, or hour and a half, and they'll be able to meet with individual programs after the breakfast and after my presentation on the future of the Career Center and some of the changes that need to happen. And their area of businesses support is crucial for the success of our students. So I look forward to that as well. And our culinary program will be cooking breakfast and serving breakfast as well, so they'll be showcasing their talents as well, which will be exciting. And that is November 21st, our first day of professional development at the Career Center. On October 25th, the Future Business Leaders of America will be holding their fall blood drive in the BUHS multi-purpose room. And it's a great event that draws many students and staff members, and they usually fill their quota of blood pints. And I'm not sure, somewhere between 20 and 30 pints they set the quota for the American Red Cross. So this is a great opportunity. They have filled all the spots in the time frames and also filled many of the alternate spots for the day. So if you're interested in stopping by or checking it out, it's a great opportunity to give back to our community. And the Future Business Leaders of America students are very mature that day and learn a lot of great skills with this process. The criminal justice class last week participated with the Vermont Air National Guard in Westminster, and they learned about how the guard uses weapons and how it relates to the Second Amendment, which is a very popular subject matter they talk about in criminal justice. They learn judgment and decision-making skills related to all these exercises. And they learn about marksmanship and the role it plays in law enforcement, the safe aspect of that. And there was no live ammunition used. I want to point that out during this exercise. And that's all. Any questions?
Great, thank you. All right, so that's it for administrative reports. Central office isn't here, I don't have anything. I meant to ask you, Steve, during the high school part, will student council members be joining us again this year?
They will.
Okay,
Yes, yeah.
excellent.
Several of them are doing early decision right now, so.
They're a little tied up. Yeah. All right, so moving over to unfinished business, we have some policies either for, according to this, it says additional reading for all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
We will vote on them for adoption altogether next time.
Okay.
And unless anybody has anything else that came up, I think we've already discussed these.
I was reading through it, and yeah, I thought it said that where it says has, it should be as. That'd be the in the role of policy, the first line of the second paragraph. So right here.
Oh, yep. No, has is correct.
Is it? It
Yep.
didn't make any sense to me.
Policies describe the direction the board, with input from the community, has outlined for the school district.
Oh, I see.
The board has.
I'm sorry, yeah, you're right. Correction, delete.
But everyone got a copy of the corrected ones via email today, yes?
This morning, 7:33 a.m.
Okay. All right, well, if there's nothing anyone needs to add, we'll be adopting these at our next meeting then.
If there are any typos or anything like that, just let me know so I can get those cleaned up.
All right, great, thank you. So that's it for unfinished business. Under new business, we have it listed on the agenda, BUHS District Number 6 / Vernon draft separation agreement. Ron's not here.
I would suggest that it shows possible action. I would suggest that this time is not of the essence, so we have to do it tonight. We have a small group here. We don't have Ron and Frank. But my question would be, is everybody other than the Finance Committee been sent a copy of the updated Vernon agreement or not?
I am not.
I don't recall seeing one.
Okay, well, that's another reason that we should postpone it. And I believe we're okay still, time-wise. But again, that's the procedure, is the Finance Committee approves it, which we have, moves it to the full board, so I would guess that the next meeting it would come up on the board agenda.
So it should be sent to the full board.
Right.
Yep. Presumably with any corrections.
Right,
the
all
finance
the
committee.
boards have to approve it before it
Yeah.
goes to the public. And that's why I'm hesitant a little bit in the terms of the time frame. But I believe if it absolutely had to be acted on tonight, we would have had copies of it here at the meeting and a chance to discuss
I
it.
understand you're not voting on that until sometime in the future. Anyway, it's not gonna be at the November 8th big thing that we're voting, that the
No,
towns are
but-
voting on this.
It was listed on the agenda as review and possible action.
Yeah.
So I'm using the term possible to mean that it's not required action tonight.
Okay.
That would
It's
be-
not, you can't go home until this is done.
All right, so we'll table that to a future meeting, possibly the next one. And hopefully by then everyone will get a copy of it, so we all can review it as well. Is there anything else under new business? Do you have an executive session matter?
Yeah, I can, if
Okay.
we go into executive
Okay.
session. So I
So
move
if
we-
there's anything else for new business first, we do that? All right, so then I will move that we go, I will put us into executive session for a personnel matter. And we can go in the other room. Does that make sense for everybody? And we won't be taking any action after this, so there's no reason for folks to stick around. We can just, Ruth, you can send Jane the time that we
Yeah,
close the meeting.
I'll send Jane any
A closure, and then
particulars.
everyone else can get out of here.